Catching up here with MacDonald Mines. MacDonald Mines trades as BMK on the Toronto Venture Exchange. I've got with me now CEO Quentin Yarie to run through the story here. Well, Quentin, I appreciate you taking some time to join me here. I know MacDonald Mines has just resumed drilling. You've got a lot of things going on. Maybe take us back a little bit. I know you've had a lot of projects you've worked on over the years, and you've kind of settled on one, the SPJ property. Just kind of run through that.
We went through a few before we've settled on the current one, which is just east of Sudbury in the Wanapitei Lake area. And we spent a lot of time looking at that. Our chief geologist, Jean-Francois Montrel, is got his PhD from Quebec and from the federal government. And he specialized in geochemistry of IOCG type deposits and IOCG deposits. So he was very familiar with those things. And we looked at that area with a new eye, if you will, to see what we could find out there. Some of the intriguing things for us were, at the time, cobalt was a little hot and people were looking for battery minerals, and we started looking around areas with great infrastructure. And we found that Sudbury had been overlooked for a lot of those things, although we know, historically that with the nickel, there were some, rare earth elements, and there's quite a bit of cobalt and platinum and palladium were kicking around in that system. And the further you go to the east and the west of the Sudbury impact crater, you would find gold, cobalt, some silver, and remnants of nickel. So we got interested in that, and we got involved in a property to the south of the Scatting mine, where we were now, which we refer to as the Jovan and the power line. And it had high-grade gold intersects on it, significant high-grade golds over significant meters, and it also had high-grade cobalt. We were getting grabs of cobalt over 4 or 5%, which is, you could see the cobalt blooms on the rock. So it was a very interesting system that not a lot of people, I don't think, knew about. And that's what led us there. We spent over a year trying to untangle the Scatting mine ownership. It was very difficult to do. It had 2 or 3 JV partners involved, and a complexity of changing hands since the 80s when it was in production. And that proved challenging, but we got through that, and now we're 100% owner of that project and advancing it.
Yeah, so let's dig into the management team that's going to pull this off. Run through your squad.
Yeah, so myself, I'm a geophysicist. I've been involved doing exploration for over 30 years. As I mentioned, we have Jean-Francois, our chief geologist, and we have a host of MSc geologists working on the project with us as well on the board of directors. We have Pat Dubray, who's a good business leader in the Sudbury area. He's quite the entrepreneur. We have Stuart Adair, who's a good CA, if you will, a CGA. His accounting background is excellent, keeping me in line and watching where the numbers are going. And then we have an engineer in Kevin Tanis. He works in the mining industry from the production side, so he brings a unique skill set to us as well. And further down on the management are, we have Fiona as our CFO. Again, lots of experience from this industry. She just joined us recently in January. Looking forward to working with her. And we have Mia Boaradi, who runs investor relations for us. Out of all those people, the only one that's not a scientist actually would be Fiona. Mia has her MSc in geochemistry, so it's sort of unique to have her out there telling the story because she can tell it to anybody.
Yeah, well, speaking of here, you've got a good gold market. Things seem to be wind basically at our backs, as the way I see it. Probably some pressure on the dollar, so you got to feel pretty good about the environment. You had some COVID interruptions, perhaps, but let's talk about the current day work. Where are we at right now today, and how's the action here as far as news flow and all that for the company?
Well, we did have a pause. We paused for approximately 4 weeks, I believe, due to the COVID. And at that point, we began drilling again. So we have drilled just over 7,000 meters on the property in the last 8 months. We stopped drilling about 2 weeks ago. We have 9 holes left to report. some of our intersections have been, I would suggest, spectacular. There's the company that puts out, the top 10 gold intersects every month in the world. McDonald's has been on that list twice with some of the intersects we pulled from that property. But significantly, the thicknesses of the intersections we're getting are good as well. We're not talking about, half meter, 25 meter center or 25 centimeter intersections. Most of our true width reporting links are well over 2 or 3 meters, and some are over 30 and 40 meters of what we would consider mineable material.
So what's going to drive how are we going to make money in the stock here, Quentin? What's the real driver here?
The real driver for us, and I think for this property and for McDonald's, was people always knew there was gold there. I mean, I don't think there was any doubt. It was a past producer. There was always these little mines that existed east of Sudbury, and that's the key word, little. Everybody, there were 100,000 ounces here, 200,000 ounces there, but they were good grades. Everything over 7 grams per ton. I think what's going to drive McDonald's is we can now prove that it's not little. And what do I mean by not little? I mean, are we going to be over 1 million ounces? I think that's very feasible. I think it's quite easy. Right now, we've defined or delimited gold mineralization over a strike of over 700 meters. Before, we're talking about things that were 50 to 100 meters. So, there's a significant change. We've also drilled a little deeper than a lot of other people have, and we know that the gold mineralization extends between or below 200 meters in depth. So I think getting the story out about the size. There's no question about the grade. We know the grades are good. The question is, how big is this thing? And I think that's what's going to get people's attention all of a sudden is if we can show, and we're beginning to show, that this thing has the potential to be large.
Give us some stats on the company, shares outstanding, shape of the treasury.
Admittedly, the shares outstanding were about 180 million right now. 20% of that is held by Eric Sprott. I know he's not trading that insider zone, just 8%, and 50% would be retail at the moment. Warrants close to in the money, some of them, but a lot are falling off. And at the moment, we stopped drilling for a number of reasons. Obviously, one of those is we didn't want to run our treasury dry. The last major raise we did was Eric Sprott phoned and came in for over $1 million. We didn't ask him to come in. He called. I think he believes in the project. So we will be looking for funding coming this month. And we're hoping that the results from the last 9 holes are going to drive our stock price up a little bit. But we suspect they will. I mean, we've announced already and put out on social media we do have visible gold in those holes. So we're excited to see the results.
Yeah, and before I let you go here, Quentin, you kind of answered it, but what's stay tuned, I guess, for news, and I guess it's now those drill holes become very important to start getting those out to the market.
Oh, very much so. I mean, next week there's the Northern Miner Symposium. I'm taking part in that. McDonald's is a sponsor of that as well. And yes, we definitely want to have the news for that.
Okay. Quentin Yarie, he's CEO, MacDonald Mines, BMK on the venture. Quentin, appreciate that drill down, and we'll certainly look forward to those 9 holes.
Thank you.